Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for coming. So today it's just gonna be me, actually, because I'm at my house today. The last video we did, we were at his house, but he had to work, so I'm gonna do it by myself today. So hopefully you guys will enjoy it. Well, actually, this subject, I'm a little nervous to do this because this is by request. A lot of people requested the autopsy report, so there's it's not a very fun subject. So okay, so we're gonna start off with, and I want to just give a warning, if you guys, if there's any young kids watching it, maybe they shouldn't watch, because we're going to be talking about some pretty disturbing things. So I'm a little bit nervous that people are going to be like offended or say that I'm insensitive or whatever. But this was a request to go through the autopsy. I'm not trying to be insensitive or anything. I'm just trying to give the facts. So there are some very disturbing things here. But let's go over it. Okay. I'm going to start with Shanann Watts' autopsy. Now, some things I'm going to skip because some things are just too much. Like, I'm sure most of you guys are aware that Shanann actually had a coffin birth, which is actually she gave birth while she was in the grave after she was deceased. So I don't want to go over the details of that and all the little details, but I will cover some of them. And if you guys want to know any more, then let me see what page. It's on the Discovery page, like 1030. Well, actually, that's where Celeste. So I think it's 1020 when it starts in the Discovery. When it actually starts, I'm in here in the middle of it, but around 1020. So if you guys want any more details, I just don't want to cover everything because it just gets a little bit too disturbing, and I'm nervous actually to talk about it right now. So, I'm nervous about all the comments of, I don't know, I could just see, but hopefully, I just want to give the facts, and people were actually requesting this. So, and I did a lot of research to figure out what some of this stuff meant, and I was tempted to put in pictures, and I decided not to. There's not pictures of them, but like to give pictures of some of the things, like some of the terms they use, but I'm choosing not to do that because that would be a little bit too disturbing. But okay, so we're gonna start with Shanann. She had mild to moderate decomposition, generalized discoloration, bloating, and skin slippage. Okay, so what skin slippage is, and this is probably one of the more disturbing things that I'm going to talk about, is and I debated, should I even talk about this or add it in there? But I mean, in order to understand some of the autopsy, you probably are going to have to know what that means. So a feature of a corpse decomposition that happens when the body starts to bloat around 3 days, and that's when the skin slippage starts. Skin starts to hang, slack from the body, and different layers of the skin separate from each other. The epidermis becomes totally translucent and almost crinkly and plastic bag-like, and you can see right through it to the fluid accumulating inside. Veins decomposing, pooled blood turning, purple and black with hues of green. So when you hear some of the descriptions, they say skin marbling. That's kind of what they're talking about, because the veins that are decomposing. So when the skin slippage, it starts separating and then it becomes translucent. So you could actually see the pooled blood turning black, purple with hues of green. You could actually see it because the skin becomes translucent. So that's when they say the marbling. I don't know hers, Shanann, or generalized discoloring. With the girls, they said marbling skin. So that's what that is. The layers of skin will even very literally start to slip or peel off or separate from itself. It can look like a glove that's been all wrinkled up. So And that's why with Celeste's autopsy, you'll hear him say that she was degloved. And that's what they mean by that. But, okay, I'm not even sure. Now, I don't know. I feel like I shouldn't even be talking about this. But I just want to give you the facts. And I don't know. Okay, so Shanann had the bruising of the anterior strap muscles of the neck. So I looked up all this on the anatomy of where like everything is, and the next three things I talk about, like the strap muscles, it's all just like muscles under here. Abrasion, it says also possible pattern abrasions on the neck and left aspect of the face. 1 centimeter area of probable bruising on the anterior subcutaneous neck tissue, and I looked that up, and that's also just like under here. And actually it says, and I know a couple of you asked about, was there a bruise on her face? And so there was actually. Okay, I'll read what it says. It says, okay, here we go. There is a linear array of variably sized purple-black circular defects which extend from the inferior aspect of the chin along the jawline up the left aspect of the face towards the left temporal area. So it's like up through here. So I don't know if that's necessarily from, I think somebody mentioned in the discovery that it could have been the pattern from, like, if she was laying down on her stomach and he like pushed her face into the bed while he was strangling her. So like her face would be like that, and it pushed so hard into, because there's actually another thing. Yeah, they were doing they did a face print, like, because there was a makeup on the sheets, so where her face and like eyeshadow were like smushed up onto the sheet, so that could have caused the black circular defects. Okay, so also, you know, the bruising of the soft tissue and facial tissue of the surface of the right thyroid cartilage is all under here. I looked up all the anatomy, and it's just all things like the thyroid cartilage, bruising of the soft tissue associated with the right horn of the thyroid bone, which is intact, and then the face print on the sheet, like I was telling you. And she had skin slippage on the scalp. And, okay, so that's all I really want to talk about with her autopsy. If you want to know anything else about the coffin birth or any details, you guys can look that up. Like I said, it's on page 1020, around like 1020 on the discovery, if you guys want to look that up. Now, Bella Watts' autopsy. This makes me sad. Okay, so I forgot to name her cause. Shanann was, I guess I didn't write it down, but basically it was asphyxiation caused by strangulation. And then Bella Watts' asphyxiation due to smothering. And they said blunt force trauma of the frenulum and gingival mucosa of the maxilla. The frenulum is, they said, the skin that connects the gums to your upper lip. So right here, the skin, it connects the gum to the upper lip. That's the frenulum. And I guess Dr. Burson indicated Bella's injuries were consistent with a hard downward pressure on her nose and mouth. He said that Bella's death was violent, as it appeared she struggled to get away. And okay, so her frenulum, skin connecting the top lip to the gum, was torn, which created a large hole inside of Bella's gums and the inner lip. Oh, and the inner lip also appeared to be bruised. And it appeared Bella had bit into her tongue. So that's when they describe. Oh, and then he didn't find any bruising on her neck or injury to her neck. So they said there was a 1.5 centimeter laceration on the frenulum where it ripped, associated with pink and purple contusions or bruises. And then the superficial bite wounds of the tongue. And there are teeth impressions and superficial bite marks of the surface of the tongue. And then also there were scrapes on her buttocks and tops of both shoulders. So I'm thinking that it was when he tried to squeeze her into the hatch of the tank that it scraped, you know, when he was trying to shove her in there, because as you'll see, you know, it was only 8.5 inches, and they say the smallest, they didn't say how the width of Bella was, but they said Celeste, they say Dr. Burson also measured the hip and shoulder width of Bella and Celeste and advised the smallest width was Celeste, and it was at 9.5 inches. So, and she was smaller than Bella, and the hatch was only 8.5 inches. So you can imagine why it may have scraped her butt and her shoulders of him trying to push her in. It makes me sick. So what else do we got here? Okay, so there was a 13 by 3 centimeter of vertical scrapes on the left buttocks, and then 9 by up to 4 centimeters yellow and tan possible abrasion on the left torso. And then there was 3 to 1.5 centimeter of faint yellow tan discoloration on the superior aspect of the left shoulder. So I think that was, you know, the scrapes on her butt and the shoulders. It was explained in better detail there. Okay, so she had abundant skin slippage upon washing the oil off of her. When they did the cleaning procedure, she had excessive skin slippage when they were washing her off. Okay, so Celeste's autopsy was asphyxiation due to smothering. Oh, and I did want to make a point that, so in Bella's stomach, there was oil, water, and sludge debris in her stomach, but Celeste's stomach was empty. So Celeste was asphyxiation due to smothering. The palmar surfaces of her hands were previously sloughed off during the body recovery process, and her packaged separately. And then they call that degloved. Like, so they actually had them in a separate bag, like her hands. So they say during the washing procedure that the majority of her skin is sloughed from the surface. Didn't have any signs of injury or bruising to her neck. So that's when I told you Dr. Burson also measured the hip and shoulder width of Bella and Celeste and advised the smallest width was Celeste at 9.5 inches. And he says, I was aware the opening of the hatch of the oil tank was only 8 inches in diameter. So Celeste had mild decomposition, generalized bloating, areas of marbling skin, skin discoloration, and skin slippage. Like I said, during the washing procedure, the majority of the skin sloughed. Okay, so one thing I want to point out, because a couple people asked me to find the time of death, and actually they just list the time of death on for each Cece, Bella, and Shanann from when they found them, actually. So I don't know if they weren't able to actually get the accurate time of death, but they're all listed as August 16th. So, and then it gives you, the time they found them. So I'm not sure why they couldn't figure that out. I mean, I would understand, I guess, Bella and Celeste, because they were in the oil. Maybe that kind of affected, whatever the procedure they do to find it. But I don't know why they wouldn't be able to find Shanann's accurate time of death. I don't know is it because they didn't find her for 3 days? Does anybody know that? Because the only time of death they have is on the 16th. So I don't know if anybody knows why they weren't able to actually give the actual time of death. Just comment and let me know. Okay, I just wanted to make a couple comments to a lot of comments that I have been receiving that Chris didn't pick his father up from the airport, and that is not true. He did pick his father up from the airport. That's why they had to schedule the polygraph at 11 instead. They scheduled at 11 instead of 8 because he said he had to pick him up. So can they schedule at 11? So he did pick him up from the airport. He brought him to the police station. I'm reading it right now in the Discovery. So he picked him up. He brought it to the police station. Him to the police station to, you know, and then they did the polygraph. So. Come here, Zeke. Come here. Oh, here's my doggy. Come here. He wanted to come say hi. Look what he brought. Come here, Zeke. Come here. I'll let you guys meet Zeke. This is Zeke. This is Zeke. That's my boy. You came to say hi to me, huh? He brought me that frog stuffed animal, huh? Yeah. I love this boy, huh? He's a good boy. Yes. Say hi. Say hi. Okay. Okay. Okay, buddy. There you go. Oh, there you go, buddy. He brought me this. He brought me his frog. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Oh, thank you. Okay. So I just wanted to make one more comment about the whole, I think you guys misunderstood me about the truck. About when he was talking about to his supervisor about why he moved his truck away from the house. I wasn't talking about before the incident, before it all happened, because I know he moved it because Zeke, what you doing? Sorry, I know he moved it because he claimed that people were stealing things out of his truck. But I was talking about actually after they already went missing. I think it was that Monday and Tuesday. He parked it down the street a little bit. And I guess maybe people were making comments to him because he made a remark to the supervisor that that's what he was talking about when he didn't have anything to hide. The reason he moved his truck down there was to protect the company. So I just wanted to clear that up. Okay. And one more thing I wanted to point out actually about that whole truck thing and like people breaking into it. Now this is just my opinion. Tell me what you guys think about this. I think that he actually, I don't think anybody actually was breaking into his car. I think that he was just trying to see like who had a camera in the neighborhood and where it exactly was. So I mean, because I think this was premeditated, at least back to, like that happened like the week before, at least that far back. I think he was trying to see, like, I'm sure he went to his neighbor to see if he had a camera because he claimed that somebody was breaking in to his car, so he had to have a reason to ask him if he had a camera and then kind of feel out, well, where is it facing, because I want to park my car so you could see it, so then he would kind of know whether the neighbor actually showed him, you know, showed him a view of it or just kind of told him, but at least he had an idea of where that camera was and where, you know, you'd be able to see, you know, so therefore he knew how to take the bodies out without, well, I mean, we kind of seen, but, you know, without really knowing for sure or really being able to tell for sure what he was doing. That's just my opinion. I think it was all planned, and he just wanted to know. Okay, let me know what you guys think. Sorry I keep cutting in and out, but my dog keeps coming down, and people were yelling down, so I just want to make a point about the whole, how Bella had the oil and sludge in her stomach, and Celeste didn't. Now, it makes you wonder, and I know a lot of people have been talking about this, whether or not, you know, Bella was still alive when she was put in that tank. It makes you wonder, because then you have that shadow under the car, and she had oil in her stomach, which they said could be caused just by her sitting in the oil. It could have went in her stomach, but also it could be because she was still alive. I mean, because Celeste didn't have the oil, so... I mean, it very well could be just that, but it could also be maybe she was still alive, because that shadow is really convincing. It really is. But I mean, I guess even if she was alive at then, you would hope that she wasn't alive when he actually shoved her into the oil tank, but I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? Let me know. I just thought it was kind of crazy that she had the oil in her stomach and he didn't, and that Celeste didn't, and she put up a fight and Celeste didn't, so it makes you think that she was actually awake and Celeste wasn't, because the doctor even said it looked like, you know, the Bella seemed to have struggled to get away, and that's what the injuries were caused. So I don't know, it makes you wonder. But okay, so that's where I'm going to end that one. Thank you guys for watching.